Hospopreneurs. Hello and welcome to episode 10 of the Hospopreneurs podcast. Today, Nick Royds shares his hospitality journey, some insights and challenges he faces. We touch on international cultural differences in hospitality and gain a glimpse of what it takes to own a venue. A big thanks again to Nick and the team at Electric Avenue for having us, and I hope you enjoy. Cheers. Today I have Nick Royds, and he has graciously allowed us to enter the secret whiskey room of Electric Avenue. Welcome to the show, Nick.
Hey, thanks for having me.
No worries. Look, Nick, I like to start the episodes by asking any crazy bar stories or hospitality stories that you have. so have you got any for us?
Wow, okay, crazy. I remember, it's typically African. But I after a couple of years of working in England, I went back to South Africa for a while for a holiday. Ended up working at a mate's place down there, and we were making punches in half hollowed out watermelons, and everything got a little bit loose. It was quite a big street party, and yeah, quite a few drinks later, typical Nick got ratchet drunk, and they had like this outside pool area and shower ensemble. Decided to go for a swim, and then kind of tried to sober myself up. Didn't quite work, so I went for a shower. Anyway, I'm in this outside shower trying to get my bearings, got my hands leaning against the wall, trying to balance myself out from the world that's spinning around me. And I accidentally turned hot water on too hot with my right hand, and I freak out, and then it starts burning, and I slip.
No.
I slip, but then hyperextend my knee on the corner of the shower cubicle and scream out in pain.
Oh, yeah.
Whilst falling down, grabbing the copper pipe and ripping it out the wall and spraying myself out more in hot water.
Oh, no.
So not exactly the best moment, and yeah, lots of screaming later, and my friend bolts through the door, like, what the hell is happening? And he just sees me in this crumpled mess on the bottom of the shower cubicle, like holding my knee, crying.
Oh, no.
Anyway, yeah, not the best time I've ever had, hobbling out after that with lots of people staring at me, wondering who the hell just got... Yeah.
Ouch. Thanks for sharing that
all
one.
Sorts of stuff and sharing. Yeah.
What about something you've seen while you've been working? Something you've seen in the bar that's just a standout memory of yours?
Standout memory. I think the audaciousness of this one person. It was just a customer. I think it was at Fifth Element right back in the day. This guy was ratchet.
Where was that? Sorry.
Fifth Element.
Fifth Element
in South Bank, and it's just flabbergasted me. He kind of just jumped over the bar on his belly, grabbed the tap, and just poured beer out of the tap and just put his mouth under it. And 3 guys jumped on him.
Oh yeah.
A couple minutes later, but we all kind of just stood there flabbergasted, going, "What the hell is going on?" And arrogant of this person to do so.
Jeez.
I think that one still sticks out of my memory.
Was it busy or was it quiet and he's just like, I just want a beer?
It was like a Friday arvo. Just in between period of having lots of work, drinkers coming in and getting the restaurant set up with that dinner service, and he came out of nowhere and jumped on the bar, helped himself to beer, and then pretty promptly threw him out afterwards. I think I was just kind of taken back by that behaviour.
All right. I think we've all seen some stories like that before. That's for sure. I wanted to say, so we met over at Warris.
Yeah, many moons ago.
Yeah, you're one of the OGs.
Yeah,
one of the OGs over there. Did you open the place there with those guys, the opening team?
Yeah, I was an opening team with Crystal and Andrew and Tash, and Rob Scott and Dixie Muhammad, Adam Funkels, who else was there? Bryony, and something else I've forgotten.
That's all right. It was a great team. Awesome team there, and you've all gone and done awesome things separately since then as well. I've sort of gone to visit as many of you as I could over the last few years.
Yeah.
How many years ago was that?
I think it's kind of probably 5.
5, I think. Yeah, crazy. So what led you into that? You know, how did you get there? What's your journey to?
My journey there, that's a funny one. Well, I moved to Brisbane quite a while back, and the first bar job I got was at Fifth Element. working in a bottle shop there under Sam Kent, learning about wines. My first introduction to Australian wines and really, really boutique spirits with the bottle shop they had there, and Aaron Clark, etc. And worked there. We had a great time for 2.5 years. First went on holiday for a while, came back, and I needed a change. So we both, I had a chat with the Gunnams and decided it was time for me to move on. And I was out of work for about a week. And I just happened to be in Canvas one night. Unbeknownst to me, it was Canvas's second last night of operating.
Oh.
And I'd heard about this place, and I finally got time, so let's go and have a look. And Crystal used to come in on Sundays and drink wine at Fifth Element and kind of educate herself and ask me questions about all the different types of wines. We had those.
That's Crystal Heart.
Yeah, Crystal Heart. Yeah, we had those Enoteca wine machines where you could get tastes and half glasses. So she was in there quite often actually, learning about wine. And popped in and said hello, and she recognised me and had a chat and like, what are you up to? Well, I've got no work. I said, well, you looking for work? Because I'm going somewhere. I'm like, yeah. So essentially, K Hart offered me the job, and the next week I was sitting down in the basement of Walrus having an interview with her.
Awesome.
That's how that kind of progressed. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And a lot of the time things happen like that. It's just sort of this crazy meeting, serendipitous almost.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, cool, and then all of a sudden you have a job.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So can you tell us more about your journey, your hospitality journey, how you got into hospitality, and then what kept you there as well?
Yeah, no problem. First hospital job I ever worked was in England, and I was at a pub just during the summer times to get some cash underneath me. So
How old were you then?
I moved to England when I was 18, so I was probably about 21, 20, pretty late, but yeah, kind of traveled the road, lived in different countries a few times, and finally got settled. Fell on that, and then did just pub work, essentially pouring beers and gin and tonics mainly.
Yeah.
Essentially, that was it. Then decided to go and study and moved to Oxford and was studying to be a commercial pilot, and fell back onto bartending again. Worked in an typical Irish pub in England called O'Malley's, I think it was, and kind of got bored of it very quickly. And then there was a cocktail bar that opened down the road, and I remember walking past it one day and dropped my CV off under the door. Couldn't see anyone. Slid my CV under the door. And I was about 10 minutes up the road, and I had this short, squat Jamaican man running after me going, Nick. And that was my very close friend called Simon, who hired me on the spot
Awesome.
to go and work there. And from there, kind of just grew and grew whilst studying, essentially. And then, I worked for that cocktail bar in Oxford, then got asked to join a mobile cocktail bar company and training company called Shaker.
Okay.
And
This is all in the UK.
Yeah,
still?
all in the UK. Set up by Adam Freeth, one of the big industry bigwigs over there. He's an old industry stalwart. And set up a great company. We just used to go around and do private events. So we did Nottingham Forest football with Jamie Oliver. We did Pret a Manger in London. We did guest jeans also. So we just
That's
all over the
amazing.
place, just travelled a lot of the country that way, saw a lot of different places of England, which was really cool. Met some really awesome, inspiring bartenders in that sense. All kind of were already working in bars, but we did this on the side to earn extra money.
That would have taught you a lot of things about, seeing how different people operate within the bar, how different venues operate, and that process of hosting an event effectively.
Yeah. I mean, effectively in that place, I was just a bartender. I wasn't a manager or anything like that, but it was still great because you worked with someone different all the time, and you had to very quickly adjust to the people around you and how their style of bartending, how they move, etc. As it is, and you either click with that person immediately and put all kind of judgment aside and just go, all right, we've got a job to do, let's just crack on.
Yeah.
And we've got to make sure our client is happy, so you kind of put everything aside and just work on it. And hey, if you have a good shift with that person, great. If you have a crappy shift, then you just leave it and you move on in that sense. I don't know. This is the way that I kind of did it. but it definitely taught me to very quickly customize myself to people around me and learn how to work with them to make the bar flow more efficiently.
So I suppose after that experience, going through, you've had quite a diverse range of experiences in the bar scene, and then leading you up to now. Can you tell us a bit more about Electric Avenue and what you guys are doing here,
Yeah.
and how you, I suppose, how you're changing things in the inner southern suburbs of Brisbane?
Yeah. No, that's fine. Yeah, I guess the diversity of what I've worked, it has helped quite a bit. English bartending is very different from Australian, so that was the big one I had to get used to over here. Was just changing my style to suit English bartending in a sense. Like,
What is different about
the specs are different on classics, etc. There's a certain flair that English bartending, obviously, you've got the flair bartending that you kind of did in everyday kind of. What is it? It's working flair.
Yep.
So you'd have fun, you'd do a little bit of tricks, but you'd work and make drinks at the same time. And England's pretty standard to do that all the time wherever I worked. So
I've noticed that it's quite big everywhere else except Brisbane.
Except for or maybe Brisbane, maybe Australia, maybe I think it's just that tall poppy syndrome.
Yeah,
Where
I saw
they
it in
don't-
Melbourne a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting one. Like I've seen it come and go in the 5 or 6 years I've been in Brisbane. People trying to get it kicked off, and then it kind of just doesn't happen. And then we've got another iteration of it again happening, and it just doesn't quite take off. So
Yeah.
I think it's very European. Show off, look at me kind of bartending style, but it works in England, works in Europe. Maybe it has that kind of mentality in Melbourne.
Yeah.
As such.
We had a chat about it. I had a chat with Luke Davies about it when we talk about nightclub bartending.
Yeah.
And, I think it is more of a high volume thing. It's almost like you're putting on a performance while everyone's waiting and they're packed up at the bar.
Yeah.
Like you're 6 deep and everyone's just watching you, and you put on a show while they're waiting.
Yeah. No, you've got to entertain them somehow. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's not exactly the best just being 4 deep and you're waiting for the bartender to get to you, and he just looks like he wants to kill himself because he's just pouring shot after shot after shot of vodka lime soda. But screw it, have some fun while you're doing it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'm a
I
fan
guess
of
that's
that.
probably where it comes from.
I'm a Flair fan myself.
Yeah.
But yeah. I say bring more flair into
I
what we're
think if
doing.
you can do it correctly with good working flair, then go ahead. Just I think I've now turned into an Australia where I don't like people showing off.
Fair.
I have seen some good guys who've got some good working flair, and I do. Yeah, it's enjoyable to see it again. It was good fun in England doing it, and many knuckles were wrapped on plastic bottles practicing on that stuff. But it's alright.
If we go back to more on Electric Avenue,
Yeah.
sort of how you guys are innovating and creating change here.
Yeah, I think with what we're trying to do within this area, having with the Canvas Boys been here for so long.
Because you guys are connected.
Yeah. So my business partners, Dan Rodriguez and Bodie Schofield, and a third, Adam Pikett, are all close friends. Dan and Bodie set up Canvas and have been at it for about 3 years now of the place and done very well for themselves. And they've got a very successful little bar and had the opportunity to take over this place, brought me on board, and within that, we've just seen, I've also worked for Canvas for close to 3 years, on and off. We've just seen this area develop and get better and prosper more.
Because it's across the road.
Yeah, yes, it is Stones Row.
Yeah. We can literally see it from the front door.
Yeah. The big sisters, she's my baby now. No, we've just seen the area blossom, and it really has now become more of a destination place to come to within Brisbane, and it's got a good name, a good reputation to itself. And the community that we have here with all the other businesses, because we all get on, we know each other quite intimately. There's just a really nice, it's just a beautiful sense of community here. And whenever you're in the shit, you run across the road and borrow something, or you click, come here, I need you for 5 minutes, just give me a hand, run, clear some tables, etc.
Handy to have that support as well.
Yeah, very, very handy. And as Brisbane has grown, you can see how the influence of the inner city is kind of spreading out, and it's hit now the Coorparoo, Stones Corner area, and it's getting busier as we've noticed. And what we're trying to do is, make this area unique in that sense that each little business here involved in hospitality is an entity on its own. Like Inatec is known for its fantastic Italian wines and awesome Italian food. Solerini, you can go get pizzas. Canvas, you go for cocktails. Detour of a new kid on the block is just coming. You can go there for some incredible contemporary modern food. Then you got Pearl Cafe, which just has been nailing it, the cafe scene for many years. They each have their own identity, and that's what we want to just keep growing within that and create an identity for Electric that is different from all the rest, but then fits into the community spirit. So Electric, you can come here and you can have great wine, relaxed service, good kind of easy bistro food, but highly thought out, intelligent cooking with.
And the kitchen's open quite late as well.
Yeah. We wanted to kind of
for the Brisbane,
certainly for the capture
Brisbane
that on the Brisbane side of things, particularly for hospitality and workers also. It's picking up. People are beginning to realise, and we did getting a lot of phone calls. You guys still open? Like, yeah, the kitchen closes at 11. Come get a feed, and we're seeing that kind of later progression of dining getting better. So one thing for us that we found was a problem is everyone wanted to eat really early, and they finished work 6:30. They want in, and we're trying to do a 2-seating system, which I think we finally cracked it, so that we can make use of that time in the kitchen's open. And we're just constantly getting flooded early on in the beginning, but I think people are getting an idea now.
What's the so you mentioned that like Woolloongabba's identity. What is that identity, and how is it unique to other areas of Brisbane or other areas?
For us, it's this little precinct in the Logan Road cul-de-sac here it's a destination place. You have to come. You have to make an effort to come here. In that sense,
but there's a lot to offer here.
There's a lot of There's a lot to offer. It's not valley. You're not going to be overdone by crowds and drunken revelers, etc. But you've got a lot of choice in such a small space. So you can choose your different areas that you want to go to. Plus, I guess what we're trying to sell here is that you can come to this area and start your weekend here. On a Friday night and stay in this precinct the whole day in effect of that, and come to Electric in the afternoon, have some drinks outside in the sunshine, go have some dinner elsewhere, then go to Canvas for a cocktail, and then come back here for our jazz at the end of the night. You don't have to catch a cab, you don't have to crisscross the city because you've got great food, live music and cocktails and a whiskey bar in one area. So why not just stay here in a sense? And that's what we're trying to offer, and also work with the other guys and businesses. Right?
Awesome. So the next question I wanted to ask you was, can you tell us a bit more about the venue? Because is it an old children's hospital? Is that right?
Yeah. The old girl was an old maternity hospital, as far as I know. Some people say it's haunted.
I haven't seen any ghosts yet.
I haven't seen any. I used to actually work here every now and again with the guys from Crosstown Eating House when they opened. They used to rock star up in the bar that we're in now for them, and worked with Maddie a few times, so get on with Maddie pretty well. I've never seen it haunted or anything like that, but as far as I know, there used to be an old maternity hospital for many years at the 5 Ways crossing where all the trams used to come, and then it turned into an antique store, and it was an antique store for quite a long time, as the rest of these buildings were. And then it turned into Crosstown Eating House with the 4 boys, and did fairly well when I was working at Canvas, and they did a really good thing. And then they went their ways, and Cam bought it and turned it into Crosstown Public House, and then he sold it to us, and now it's Electric Avenue. And in that sense, that name is we just completely try to get as much of the old identity of Crosstown gone and rebrand, gives the old girl a really good lick of paint and a good new design ethos, such that it doesn't have any kind of attachment to Crosstown anymore. Because a lot of people do, it's all Crosstown, but no.
Totally.
We want you guys to completely change that aspect.
It
is all Crosstown, but this is now Electric Avenue. So hence a bit of the quirky name kind of gets you thinking why the hell we called it that. As my partner Dan wanted something weird that would stick in your head, but also kind of hint to the little room upstairs that we're in at the moment, within the song of "We Will Take You Higher." Dan loves his quirky stuff,
and it is, and I mentioned at the start of the episode that it's a secret whiskey room.
Yeah.
And you guys are doing events here as well.
Yeah, we will. On Mondays, the big one for us is that we do hospo discounts. So it's more of a nicer, kind of quieter place to come on a Monday for hospos. I had a lot of good feedback from when we initially opened and had a few of them in. And the more kind of older generation, I guess, of the hospo crowd was saying it's really nice just to come and sit and chill, drink some whiskey, eat some cheese, and have a chat to your mates and not be blared away by music and I don't know, pool comps, drinking games, etc. like that. So it's just a bit more relaxed, chilled out environment on the Mondays for hospo side, and then when it does come down to the rest of the week, Thursday, Fridays we're open to the general public, and Saturdays, and we have jazz here every Friday and Saturday night, and then we also just recently launched a whiskey club, which we opened last Thursday with Dan Woolley, and that went really well.
Awesome.
And we'll be doing that once a month.
Great. Yeah. Cool. And how can people get involved in that if they want to?
You just got to keep your eyes peeled on our social media sites.
Cool.
Facebook and Instagram. I'll be releasing a new one pretty soon. The next one is with Jay Lambert and Russell's Reserve on the 27th. He's bringing some really cool, rare releases down for a tasting, and you'll get to go through the general Russell's Reserve portfolio. Then these two special releases he's got. Enjoy the night with us with some cheese and listen to Jay wax lyricking. So yeah, it should be nice. It's a little bit earlier than anticipated, but a lot of the reps are quite busy at the moment, so I'm going to kind of lock them in when I get a chance. But keep an eye on social media. We will release it. There are limited spaces because it is a club that we released 30 member tickets to, in a sense. And they all came on Thursday. They got their little membership cards. So those club members will get first release on any kind of new events up and coming. And then the general public will be notified afterwards.
Cool.
So.
Awesome. I wanted to also comment on the decor because it's amazing the way that it's, the fit out here as well. And I can't even imagine how much it costs to put it all together, the entire venue. But you've got the original clock.
Very frugal. Yeah. No. Yeah. That original clock's still there. That don't know when it stopped working, but the time is still. I think it's stuck at 5:20 in the afternoon or 5 in the morning. Decor wise, you're gonna have to go to greater detail with my partner Dan Rodriguez. I'm pretty sure he's an interior designer in another life because he started buying decorations for this place. I think as soon as we knew about that we were going to sign a lease, etc., he was already buying on eBay, going to op shops, going to markets on the weekends, and he would just buy stuff, hoard it away. I think half of the stuff is also from his parents' house as well. So Dan, in the sense of Electric Avenue, is very much the creative mind behind each little room and how he wanted it. He spoke to all of us about what we thought, the direction we should go, and then the design element is literally him. He knew exactly where everything was going. It was amazing to watch. He pushed up for one day with a ute full of shit and unloaded it, and I looked at it and I went, what the fuck is going on? And then he was literally a blur for about the next 4 hours, just putting stuff up everywhere, and he took a step back. Holy shit, he did a good job.
Crazy.
So, we owe all the decor to him. He's got a beautiful eye for it.
Love it. The next question I have for you is, because it's a turbulent time in Brisbane with obviously, I don't know if anyone's been keeping up with it, if listeners have been keeping up with what's been going on legally, but there's obviously a lot going on with Queensland laws, which I'd like to delve into in another episode with a specialist on that. Or someone who that's what they do. But the question I want to ask you is owning a venue, this is contentious, is owning a venue something you'd recommend? The semi-evil laugh
Yeah.
says it all.
It's,
No, tell us more.
I think if you love the industry, yes. Because then within that, you're on the other side of things. You have more control. You have more power in that sense to do really good things for the industry, because you kind of you step back and you see it from a different light. It probably sounds incredibly cliche, but yeah, going from working behind a bar, managing bars and managing venues before, and now to owning a venue, yeah, you kind of give a shit a lot more about what's going on in a greater spectrum of the hospitality scene, and how in general how Brisbane's doing, how Queensland's doing comparatively to New South Wales and Victoria, which are always our nemesis when it comes to it. So anything we can do to
rivalry though.
Yeah, friendly rivalry. Yeah, it's a friendly rivalry. I don't think there's anyone in the bar community who absolutely abhorrently hates each other.
Yeah,
we all get on very well, and it's great being able to go and stop and see friends in Melbourne and Sydney, and likewise when they come up here. I think it's just that comparison of, you guys are like Melbourne or like Sydney. No, we're Brisbane.
Yeah,
we're trying to create our own identity. We want to stop getting
people saying that.
Yeah.
We
are not them. We're us. We're Brisbane. We're doing our own thing. We're going to we are creating our own identity, and I think that's probably the bigger aspect of it when it comes to owning is that you see it from that light, and the little things that happen in the news, the new government laws that are taking place with ID scanners, etc.
Yep.
Although that doesn't really affect me or Canvas, it affects the wider community. It will affect aggression. It will affect friends and other places who work, and it's silly little things like that that the government does. You're just pulling your hair out. And why you kind of you're taking the industry back 2 steps when we've worked so hard to take it forward. Thanks, guys. So.
Could it, in a way, work in your favour if people can't go to or want to go to those venues because they have to queue up for ages now to get scanned? Might they come somewhere like this instead?
Effectively, only if they come in before midnight.
Yeah.
For me, because I think it might help in that sense a little bit, but I would rather the other businesses do well in that sense and just get rid of ID scanners and stop being such a nanny state. We can control and we'll look after our own bars. Thank you very much. We don't need you stepping on our toes telling us what to do, because you just screw it up every single time. They try and introduce some pathetic little law that it will try and stop the drunkenness behaviour, or stop the drunken fights, etc. in the valley, and all the bashings that are going on. It's not that. They just can't see the bigger picture. It's the culture. You need to change the drinking culture. And how do you do that? It's going to take years. Why do the Europeans, the Spanish, the French, etc., why can they go out all night, drink wine, and do that until 4 or 5 in the morning and not cause an absolute ruckus? Because they're not forced into one place to try and drink as quick as possible because they need to get out. It's the same thing I saw in England. They had the same issues over there when pubs would close at 11:30. Then everyone had to get out of the pubs and then go to a nightclub until 3 a.m. in the morning. And they wondered why they would have fights, etc. It's because you're funneling people in, you're forcing them to drink as quickly as possible because you created that problem. So it's never going to be an easy fix. It's going to take a long time. You've got to change people's perceptions on drinking.
I like that you mentioned that too, because in my episode with John Hyton, the other recently, he also mentioned that that's what they're trying to do at Savile Row, is change the culture of drinking to just, and ultimately that's like ground level, in the bar, changing people's perception of drinking and enjoying a drink rather than, punching volume.
Yeah, exactly. You can see it within the younger generations now that are coming up, and the statistics on alcohol abuse and drug abuse is dropping. Unfortunately, there's the other side of the story is that they're incredibly narcissistic because they're not kind of doing that kind of behavior anymore because it's very much how do I say an Instagram, Facebook kind of lifestyle. Everything that they do is documented, so they don't want to be that person who's got a photo of them shit-faced drunk or abusing drugs or something like that. So we're very more conscious of that, and then aren't drinking as much, aren't getting as stupid as like I would say myself when I was my teenager.
That is a really interesting perspective on it, and
that's kind of like a base sort of line, I guess, where it's kind of gonna change, but at the same time, it's a double-edged sword because like, oh shit, you guys are just so worried about how you look all the time and your
brings about
perception
other problems.
it will bring out other complications, but yeah, they would rather go out and have a meal and maybe have one glass of wine.
Yeah,
or
that sounds fantastic.
Which is great because that's what it should be like.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, every now and again, so you do just I want a Negroni and I want another one and I want another one because I'm having a great night or I'm having a shit day, whatever it is that you want that. But it's gonna take a long time to change that behaviour, and unfortunately, Australia is like England and it's like South Africa and it's like America. It's very much a Western problem.
Is it from? Obviously, it's British colonies that you mentioned there.
Yeah,
so is it the core problem in our sort of grassroots British culture?
Maybe, I don't really know. To be honest, I think it's probably just Western culture more than anything else. South Africa being influenced by English and Dutch quite heavily. I grew up with quite a wide range of diverse backgrounds of friends, ethnic backgrounds, sorry. And I think it was just our upbringing in the 1990s when I was a teenager. You would go to house parties, you'll get drunk because it was something that you were rebelling against in that sense. We used to sneak into pubs and bars wherever we could in South Africa. I lived in the States for a little bit. I saw the same sort of culture there. I lived in England for 10 plus years and I saw the same culture again. It's get in, get drunk, get in, get drunk, get in, get drunk. And the only place I actually saw a major difference was I did a stint in Spain for a little bit, for about 8 months, and it was a completely different thing. You didn't go out to get shit-faced and party. You went out and you socialised, you had something to eat, you maybe had a couple of cocktails and you went off to another place, you talked, you ate more, you drank more, and that would go on for about a good 8 or 9 hours, and by then you're stuffed, you're tired and you want to go to bed. Well, I wanted to go to bed because you only start going out at like 11 o'clock at night.
And then I go for a nap and back to work.
Yeah, pretty much, so I think, it's just a different culture, and
that's my heritage, but I've not been to Spain.
Yeah.
So I'd love to check it out.
No, it's a great place I would go. I don't know, like, it's going to take time, and unfortunately there's nothing else that we can do about that.
We just have to do what we can.
We just got to keep doing what you're doing. It's the same with Jonty, trying to start from the bottom up, and it's exactly what. Like, we don't promote any heavy drinking here. We like people to enjoy their wines and with food, etc. So, take your time over a whiskey. There's no need to punch it back. Enjoy it. Enjoy the 16-year-old Lagavulin that you're drinking. Take time to appreciate the craft and care that's gone into this whiskey. And likewise with the wines and the food. So, the only way it's going to get better is by time. It's not going to be. Government keeps looking for a quick fix. It's never going to work.
The next question I'd like to ask you, Nick, is what's been the most challenging part of opening Electric Avenue?
The most challenging for us has... God, I love Queenslanders and I hate them at the same time. Oh, funny. The most challenging for us has been that restaurant. It had our little bistro. We would get bookings and then people wouldn't turn up. And I've been working my restaurant manager on how to do a 2-seat system and been tearing our hair out.
Yeah.
We want to take deposits for 4 people, but then there's no point in doing that because I don't know if it's Queenslanders or what it is, but we will get numerous bookings. We'll confirm everything for a Friday, Saturday night, and then we'll have 2 or 3 tables, which can equate to probably 10 people, which are little 40-seat bistros. Quite a lot.
Yeah.
And particularly if we're running at 2 seats, that takes up valuable seat space.
Yeah.
And they don't pitch up.
Yeah.
They don't call. They don't cancel. They just don't pitch up. And we try and call them and we can't get through. I think that is the most frustrating and challenging thing right now. It's just trying to wishing that people would give a little bit more and care and take the time to just call and cancel, even if it's 5 minutes before.
Yeah.
It really helps, and you do get them, and which is great. But yeah, we get a lot of people who just don't pitch up, and it's highly frustrating for us.
That's interesting to hear because I feel like it's a well, I haven't lived overseas, but I feel like it's an international cultural issue with the internet. You know, this sort of growth in social media and all these sorts of implications of having things on demand where people can be like, oh, yeah, I'd like to do that thing.
Yeah.
Just type it in, boom, done. Or calling, maybe not so much. Do people do it online?
Probably I'd say 50% of my bookings come through email and telephone. And I'll get a smattering on Facebook every now and again.
I'd like to explore that. That's obviously a massive challenge for you guys, and I'm sure there are other venues out there that have the same sort of problem.
I was actually discussing this the other day with my restaurant manager.
Yeah.
We've been pulling our hair out about this since day one, as we saw it kind of grow and progress. So much so to the point we're like, well, where are you going on the weekend on your day off? And just trying to discuss what places we can go to that we know friends work at that are kind of similar to Electric Avenue in the sense of bistro and the food, etc. So like Long Time or Happy Boy, and go chat to Boys End. You have the same problem. Are you guys getting no shows? Do you take deposits? Because we take deposits of groups of 10 or over, but it's still that's group of 6 or 4 who doesn't pitch up, and that'll have a knock-on effect on our whole bistro, which is really annoying. So I wonder if you are correct about that. Have that kind of instantaneous gratification online kind of mentality. That's probably what kicked it off, because
people like to have options.
Yeah, I never we didn't really come across that at Fifth Element. The last place I was actually a restaurant that I worked at. People used to pitch up, and if they cancelled, they cancelled.
Because you can see that. I see that happening with people saying that they're attending an event on Facebook.
Yeah.
Like, I'm attending this, I'm attending this. You know, they're attending 100 events on the same day. And it's those guys are like, oh, cool, you know, we've got 300 people for this event today. And then, you know, it's just like, oh, well, you know, it shows for nothing for the actual people hosting the event.
Yeah.
So that'd be really interesting to try to solve that problem. So I'll do a bit of thinking on that. I wonder if I can come up with a solution. Or any listeners out there, if you'd like to come up with a solution for that problem.
Anybody's got any solution.
Send us an email and I'll forward it on to Nick or anyone else who's having this problem.
Future down the line, if me and Steve can come up with a way, we'll let you know. We can have another chat about it with Steve and what kind of we've implemented to kind of help Electric.
Yeah, because that'd be great to explore.
Yeah, it's definitely a new thing I haven't come across before.
I'd also like to ask you, what's the most overlooked component when running a venue?
Overlooked?
Yeah, that people should consider and they don't.
Details.
What sort of details?
Everything's in the details.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think you can have a great venue, you can spend a hell of a lot of money on it, but if the little details aren't ticked, then you're gonna struggle. Small things. Your staff being happy on shift, having a good day. It's that care and attention that a manager or an owner should have for their staff. Someone's having a rough day, kind of chat to them about it, perk them up a little bit. Okay, at the same time, you're here to work. I will help you afterwards, but happy, put on a happy face, etc. If your staff are happy, patrons pick up on that. Little things like just by smiling, greeting that person as soon as they walk through the door, making sure that the consistency of service is also really good. So like, as anal as it is, making sure that cocktail always goes out correctly. The same amount of foam. Your garnish is always well, for us, it's garnish is at 12, straw at 1. Every time it goes out looking exactly the same. So when that person comes back in a month and they know they can have that Amaro Sour, per se, they're going to get it exactly.
Yeah.
Same service, same smell, same everything. Just those tiny little things that people pick up on. That, I think people really appreciate, but it's more subconscious.
Right. Yeah, thanks for that, Nick. You have quite a depth of knowledge about wine as well, don't you? I remember you posting a book that you were reading about wine that I actually saved.
Yeah.
I did a screenshot of that photo, but I'm sure you've read many books on wine. Was there Were there any other opportunities for you to move into wine?
Yeah, I was about 2 weeks away from moving to Adelaide, actually. Before the boys approached me to join them on this, I was going to go work for a winemaker down there and have a completely different change of life. But then, yeah, they threw this at me, and it's a bit too much of an opportunity to pass up. The opportunity is still there. I'll just be doing it in a different way. I want to hit up a lot of my friends down in South Australia and in Victoria, and hopefully in about a year's time go and do vintage with some of them and make a wine for Electric Avenue and see if that is something that I really enjoy, and if it satiates my creativity on that side of things, then great. Then I can kind of tick that box. I get to sell it in the venue, so self-promotion in the sense. I think it looks like anything. It's an experiment, and we'll take it from there.
Have you gone through that process of making wine before?
No.
No?
No. I've screwed around with lots of different types of ferments at home, like pineapple beer and Tepeshis, and I probably pronounced that incorrectly. Yeah, I've fermented quite a few different things for comps and just shits and giggles at home, but never managed to get myself hands-on wine. I have helped our wineries. I've done vintage. I've seen the process. I've picked grapes, stomped on grapes, and helped fill barrels, etc. at friends' wineries, but never actually made my own wine as yet.
I have a very practical question about wine for you. How? Because I have this problem all the time. I get stained lips from red wine.
Yeah.
How do I eliminate this problem? Because I have no idea. Is it soda water? That's what I've heard. Soda water is the way to
go. Just embrace it.
So let everyone know I've been drinking red wine, guys.
Well, then drink less tannic red wines. Go to rosés or lighter pinots. You obviously like your heavy, your heavy tannic wines.
Yeah.
Have a glass of wine, take a sip of soda, and just like wash your lips out. But at the same time, I kind of like it. I like the red wine stain.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks for that. I
still want to
solve this problem.
I don't think you ever will.
Did you? So obviously, there's been ups and downs, some crazy contours in your journey. Did you have any mentors to help you navigate some of those tough decisions?
Yeah, definitely. Two stand out. Two really helped a lot. One is Aaron Clark. When I first got to Australia and I started working at Fifth, he kind of took me under his wing a little bit and to kind of help me in the finer arts of Australian bartending and not English bartending, because he worked in England also, so we struck up a friendship on that. And he guided me through that quite a bit and gave me insight into the way that the Garden Group ran their business, particularly when I became bar manager of Fifth Element, and writing cocktails actually helped out and mentored me quite a bit through that. And he's always been great to catch up with every now and again. Also would be Marco Nunez when I worked from a Papa Jack's.
Yeah, that was a great bar.
That was a great bar. Yeah, love PJ's. It was an awesome place. And again, just the wealth of knowledge and the care and attention that Marco gave has always been greatly appreciated.
Do you have any mentors now helping you through some of the decisions you're making at the moment?
I think mentor-wise, it would be just my peers, if anything. It's good to chat to my partners on owning a venue and discussing that with them, because they know the major differences. That's always been a help. So Dan and Bodie are helping me through that process and getting my mindset behind that. And then I think it's just chatting to friends, chatting to people in the industry who have a like-minded affair with drinks and food. So like Dan Gregory, Dan Jonty, my chef, and housemate Will downstairs. I learn from them and they learn from me, and I also kind of take a step back and how, say per se, helping Connor downstairs, my bar manager, helping him take on the role of this place.
Mm-hmm.
And now I get asked questions that I haven't thought about before. So then, therefore, having to teach myself it all, research it, and then telling Connor, I learn. So it's good in that sense. I wouldn't call it a mentor. I think it's just, I don't know, it's not.
Getting feedback from
I was trying to think of like a hive mind, but that's the wrong word. It's
like
we're all trying to learn and move forward, so everyone's kind of helping out each other. Yeah. So in a sense, you could be my new apprentice Dan downstairs asking obscure questions, and they'll be thrown by it, and that's great because that's making me think, and it's making him thinking. So
it's all about that collaboration.
Yes, that's the word, collaboration.
Right. What's been your most valuable resource to learn the skills that you have to get you where you are now? Outside that human component.
Read.
Yeah.
Read and read and read.
What sort of books or resources?
I think for anyone who's kind of stepping into the game, starting your basics, as annoying as it is, cocktail books. I read cocktail books, food recipe books, New Scientist. I listen to podcasts, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Sorry, The Skeptic's Guide to the Galaxy. Anything, as much as I can get my hands on, I read about science and technology and food, because those are my passions essentially. So I read a lot of blogs, so Tales of a Cocktail,
I'll
Noma.
post all these links up as well. Tales of a Cocktail.
Tales of a Cocktail. You've got Noma's blog. I've forgotten what it's called.
I'll find that anyway.
I've got a whole list of stuff. I'll wake up in the morning.
That'd
and
be
just
awesome.
Filter through.
I can
share
it with listeners.
Just reading and just seeing where the general trends are, and also learning about new techniques is always something that I like.
So what is it that you're learning about at the moment then? Right now, where are you wanting to push forward with your knowledge?
With my knowledge is kind of, it's more now I'm concentrating on more management inside and human psychology. So I'm learning a bit
There's
more.
a lot of that out there.
Yeah, yes, there is. Yeah, so I'm kind of getting my head around a bit more of that, so that I can manage my staff better and help them do a better job, and at the same time, fundamentally making sure that my patrons are happy and having a good time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So 2 more questions for you, Nick. What advice do you have for someone who wants to be successful in the hospitality industry?
Always stay humble and never stop learning. And take your job seriously. Have fun. Don't have too much fun, because you can get caught in that trap where it's just perpetual fun. But yeah, have a good balance and always stay humble.
Awesome. And what's next for Nick Royds?
Ooh, life has been a bit of a spanner the last couple of years, so who knows? I don't know. I would not be surprised. I could end up anywhere. I have no idea.
Day to day. See what
day
comes up.
to day at the moment, just getting this all going smoothly. Then who knows? I'm open to all opportunities.
Could be another chat in a bar.
Could be another chat in another bar.
Love it.
On another continent. Who knows?
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for being on the show today, Nick. I really appreciate you letting us record here, and thank you for having me.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Guys, if you liked the episode today, please subscribe, follow, share on Libsyn and iTunes. I'll put all the links up from the episode today, and I hope you enjoyed. Got some really awesome stuff coming up soon, as always, and I hope to see you tuning in. Thank you very much. Cheers.